great beauty of the Sonnenallee, Miriam, is obsessed with making out with Western boys who are free to cross the border. Most important, they have politically forbidden music, which they record on their tape recorders from Western radio shows of the era, such as SF Beat. They may have grown up under a regime whose repressive ambitions rival North Korea's, and they may be continually deprived, but the texture of their daily lives is paradoxically one of fullness. In their scavenging and resourceful way, they experience the West more vividly and appreciate it more deeply than Westerners themselves do. Characteristic of Brussig's humane vision, his charting of a middle way between denunciation of the East for its political excesses and resentment of the West for its material excesses, is his rendering of deprivation as a kind of blessing. In the words of one of the novel's more thoughtful young characters, Mario, wanting something is much more interesting than having it. To be sure, the socialist state is always there, and Brussig gives the evils and annoyances of totalitarianism their due. The younger characters live in fear of ruining their life prospects through some minor offense against the state, or, almost as bad, of being compelled to give a self-critical presentation at school, while the older characters fear the Stasi and the Russians. No one who's not connected with the Stasi can get a telephone at home, and no one but the very privileged can get a car repaired in less than a month. Apartments are cramped, running water is intermittent, store lines are long, travel in the East is restricted, travel to the West forbidden altogether, and elections are a travesty. Every adult citizen is expected to cast a vote for the only slate of candidates on the ballot. Young people display their patriotism, willingly or not, by joining the official socialist youth group, the Free German Youth, and marching in parades on Republic Day, the 7th of October. In a world of scarcity and distrust, in which absolutely everything is political, the one thing the people of the Sonnenallee can count on is each other. The remarkable ease and closeness of their friendships is central to the novel's charm. I'm hard-pressed to think of a novel in which people treat their neighbors with a more consistent kindness. Figures who first appear in the book as menacing or upsetting outsiders, the local beat cop who bears the maladroit East German title of designated precinct enforcer, the checkpoint border guard who's fervently convinced of communism's eventual global triumph, the two gay assistants at the local dance school, who are dubbed with the casual homophobia of high school boys, the dancing pansies, become magically humanized as they're drawn into the Sonnenallee community. Even plainly odious minor characters, such as a fanatically disciplinarian army commandant or a party functionary whose job is to police counter-revolutionary thought, acquire unexpected poignancy as they fall victim to the absurdities of the East German state. Only from irredeemably dogmatic characters does Brussig withhold his sympathy, and even there the narrative moves in such a way as simply to exclude them from the circle of sympathy and leave them to their own devices, as if to be denied access to a community of kindness is punishment enough. Is the warmth in Brussig's depiction of the GDR realistic? Not having lived there, I'm in no position to judge, but I would guess that the answer is yes and no. The uses of adversity are famously sweet, and it makes sense that friendship and its paired foundations, trust and love, would be all the more precious, all the more intensely felt, in a society determined to erode them in service to political obedience. But a novel is an invented thing, its content a selected thing, and I can't help thinking that what's ultimately being depicted is not a society, but one very unusual person's relationship to it. The East German writer who can portray a community so lovably and laughably is a writer whose sense of humor and capacity for forgiveness survived totalitarianism miraculously intact. Although the details of life in the GDR are realistic, the story to which they're harnessed has the inwardness and self-sufficiency of something deeply personal. The events in the book are a bit too funny to be true to life, its plot turns a bit too neat. Again and again, Brussig introduces odd little circumstances and incidental storylines that seem to go nowhere, only to pick them up later and resolve them into perfect narrative punchlines. By the end of the book, when the last of the jokes has paid off, it's clear that